in the other side of the corner. It doesn't matter to me. And when they offered me the fight, I was like, yeah, let's do it because I had a different fight before I get offered this one. But then they called me. They're like, hey, what about this? I'm like, you guys send the contract. I signed it. Though. It doesn't matter who's the name in the next side.
And I know that there's been a lot of talk leading into this fight, but from what you've seen out of Sean O'Malley, have you been impressed by him at all?
I'm gonna be honest, like I know the guy is good. I know he have his stuff, he have his style of fighting, So I cannot underestimate anybody at this point at this level because anybody can get shit done. So at the end of the day, it's a hard fight as any other, and I'm prepared for that. And Saturday night, I'm gonna come hard and strong as always, and I'm fucking ready.
How much do you pay attention to the kind of stuff that Sean O'Malley says? He's a very public guy, does a lot of interviews, has said a lot about you. How much do you pay attention, and do you use any of that as motivation?
Oh no, the all the motivation came from myself, from my heart, from my family, from achieving my goals and getting stuff done for me and for the people that I love. And then the rest, is just part of the show, part of the business. It's fun. I enjoy the process. I enjoy all the shit talk, answering stuff. But I do it when I feel it, and sometimes I don't fucking feel it. I just want to fight, and that's why I like to be active and be able to do this every 2 3 months because I really like to compete, and that's what really matters to me. What my opponent has to say or not is good because I build the fight, put us in a good spot. But at the end of the day, the cage is gonna be locked, and then it's the time that I really have fun. When I'm able to compete and try to fuck somebody up.
What did you make of Sean coloring his hair in the colors of the Ecuadorian flag?
Well, that's a good question that a lot of people ask me, but honestly, I don't really know. It could be Venezuela, it could be Colombia, it could be Ecuador. You don't have the logo on that, so I don't know which country he dyed his hair, but good for him. I have yellow or blonde, so I'm supporter all the yellow flags out there. So good for him. We're free to do whatever the fuck we want. That's why we pick this sport because it's not like a regular job that somebody tell you what to do and when to do it. So good for him.
So if he's trying to do it to try to get under your skin, because obviously, being from Ecuador, it doesn't bother you.
Oh, my skin's thicker than his mom, so I'm good with that. It's hard to get in my mind. I was the youngest in the family. I got a lot of fucking bullets, like my brother, my everybody. So we grew up fucking a lot with each other. So I'm good in that side. Win, lose, draw, whatever. I'm here to fight. I'm here to put in a show. And Saturday night, and my paycheck's gonna grow.
Thank you, Cheetah. Best of
Thank
luck.
you, brother. I appreciate you.
And we will take the next question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cape Side Press.
Hey, Chito. So everyone's talking about his hair. You're not usually blonde either. Can I ask what made you want to dye yours?
Uh, in this whole when the quarantine started, I've been dyeing my hair. I went well, my hair was pretty long at the beginning, so when I shaved my head again and went back to normal me. It was in the beginning of the when all this started with the COVID, and then I went from green to pink to blonde to blue. So in the quarantine, I'm not saying I was the first fighter that dyed his hair because that's not true. We got Chris Levin many years ago, but I was one of the first ones on this era that I started redoing it, and I kind of like enjoying it. I kind of like was having fun with changing my colors every week because I was fucking bored. But now, I just I just go by feeling. Last week it was pink, and then before that it was like almost white. So I'm just I'm fucking around. There's nothing else to do besides fighting and dyeing your hair and get tattoos.
Have you gotten new tattoos lately?
I get my neck. I get a flower from this Russian chick in LA. So tattoos are cool. You better be getting a bunch.
All right, I got you. Hey, it's a fun time to be a bantamweight. I mean, you've got a big three up there with Peter Yan, Marlon Moraes, and Aljo. Can I ask, how do you see all that playing out? When it's all over, which of those three do you think is going to be at the top?
I really feel like Aljo is the next in line. You know, he's been working his way up since he got couple tough losses, but that's something that I admire when somebody grind his way up and gets shit done. I feel he's next in line. You know, Peter Yan did a really good job getting the belt, but he's been in a past prime guy. Aldo, which it's a fucking legend. He was a hero back in the day, but let's be real. Right now, the guy cannot win a fight. So good for him for get the belt because the belt is the belt. Once you're the champion, you never go back. But I feel Aljo have to fight next to see really what happening, and then it's a pretty fun division right now. Like I'm pretty excited. There's a shit lot of good fights, so I'm excited to be here and let the bangers go.
Obviously, if you get the win on Saturday, it would be a big deal. Can I ask, up until this point, what has been the coolest moment of your career, either MMA or grappling?
Um, I would say being in the UFC, like the UFC it's fucking amazing. Like when I used to fight in South America, like it's just different, when when it's like in the shows before the UFC, it's like it's just the fight day that matters because there's not like a fight week like we have in the UFC. Like since the staff, the people that work here, like how they make everything for you, like this is fucking cool. That's why this is the best league in the world, to be. And I'm so blessed to be here, and I enjoy the whole process. So to me, the coolest moment of my career is made it to the UFC.
My final question for you, Chito. Obviously, you've imagined pulling off that upset, ending the hype and all that. When you think about the fight in your mind, how do you finish Sean O'Malley?
I just see myself going in there and I'm fucking the guy up. Like I'm pretty ready. I'm feeling good. I'm confident. And I show in every fight. I come to fight and I'm putting a show for the fans, and that's what they like. That's what they pay for. Nobody pays for a hugging contest or a fight against the cage. People pay for a fight. They're maniacs. They love bleeding. They love fucking exchange. So I'm here to put on a show. I'm an entertainer, and that's what I'm gonna do Saturday night.
Thanks, Chito.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Adrian Gallardo with Vavel, Argentina.
¿Qué tal, Chito?
¿Todo
Muy
bien?
buenas tardes. Todo bien. Bueno, quería preguntarte cómo fue la preparación para esta pelea.
Pues la preparación fue como todas, ¿no? Fue muy fuerte, con mucha dedicación, manteniendo un campamento bastante serio, bastante fuerte y me siento bien, me siento cómodo, me siento tranquilo y estoy en muy buena forma.
Perfecto. ¿Pensás que O'Malley es uno de los rivales más importantes que tuviste hasta el momento y que va a ser una pelea relevante este próximo sábado en la Costelar?
Es una pelea relevante, ¿no? Por eso es la costelar, ¿no? Yo creo que están usando esta pelea para que el ganador de la pelea se vaya para arriba y obviamente agarre toda la fuerza, los fanáticos y eso, ¿no? Entonces es una pelea grande y la estoy tomando en serio como lo he hecho en toda mi carrera, ¿no? Para mí la pelea que tengo enfrente es la más importante de mi vida, pero así mismo serán las siguientes que vienen, ¿no? Entonces me he preparado fuerte, me he preparado con conciencia y estoy listo para el sábado.
¿Cómo tomaste las provocaciones que hizo O'Malley, por ejemplo, por lo del pelo y todo eso? Si les diste importancia y qué pensás de él más allá de esto como rival.
No, pues para mí toda la importancia está en el negocio, ¿no? En hacer dinero, en ganar las peleas y imponer un espectáculo, ¿no? El resto, lo que se haga, lo que se diga, mis oponentes, para mí eso no tiene, ¿no? Ya tú que en lo personal que eres argentino, cuando peleé en Argentina, vieron todo lo que mi oponente dijo o hizo y nada cambió, ¿no? Yo no me salgo de las vías del tren, ¿no? Para mí la meta es una y es romperle la trompa al que tengo enfrente.
Perfecto. Y para terminar, un mensaje que le quieras dejar a todos los fanáticos de Latinoamérica.
Pues a todos los latinos, darles las gracias por el apoyo. Yo sé que están apoyándome, yo sé que están presentes, así que no se olviden, ¿no? De que el que trabaja fuerte siempre consigue lo que quiere y el día sábado salimos con todo.
Muchísimas gracias, Chito, y mucha suerte para el sábado.
Gracias.
And we will take our last set of questions from Pablo Santamaria with Notima, Ecuador.
¿Qué tal, Chito? ¿Cómo estás? Lo
¿Todo
primero que
bien?
quiero preguntarte es, ¿cómo te sentiste tras tu última pelea en contra de Song Yadong? Me imagino que enojado por la pésima decisión, pero también contento por el apoyo que recibiste de todo el Ecuador.
Sí, no, el apoyo fue grande, como siempre, es algo que me motiva a seguir adelante, que me hace feliz y claro, no, las cosas no se dieron como quería, las cosas pudieron haber sido mejor, pero al final del día son cosas que no podemos controlar y uno tiene que seguir mirando hacia el frente y trabajando.
¿Y cuáles consideras que son las fortalezas y debilidades de Sean? ¿Y piensas que esta es la pelea más importante de tu carrera?
Pues la pelea que tengo enfrente siempre es la más importante en mi carrera, ¿no? Sin importar quién sea, ¿no? Entonces, yo no me enfoco mucho en quién es mi rival o qué hace o qué dice, yo me enfoco en mí, en ganar y estoy preparado para este sábado.
La última vez que te realizaste la prueba de COVID, vimos de ahí que tenías un poco de problemas. ¿Qué pasó con esta vez? ¿Ya más acostumbrado o no?
Claro, ya una vez que te acostumbras después de la vez, de un par de veces ya no te molesta mucho, ¿no? Pero las primeras sí fueron bien jodidas de hacer.
Muchos de tus fanáticos piden el regreso de la cumbia chonera y mucha suerte para el sábado, Chito. Todo el Ecuador está contigo.
Muchas gracias, lo aprecio mucho y para todos los ecuatorianos que me apoyan, que están pendientes, le doy las gracias de corazón y que sepan que el día sábado estoy preparado, estoy listo y pues en una de estas peleas pongo la música de nuevo. No he estado, siempre cambio de música, pero al final del día la bandera siempre sale conmigo y mi corazón, la tricolor siempre está presente.
Gracias, Chito. Suerte.
Gracias.
Thank you so much, Marlon. That is all the time we had for you, sir.
Sweet.
There we
Thank you,
go.
man.
Thank
Appreciate you.
you.
he hasn't fought in the UFC recently. He's returning, but he has fought in the promotion before. Were you surprised when you were given his name as your opponent, considering the run that you've been on?
I was surprised. No, I can't lie. I wasn't surprised. I was surprised that he wasn't in my radar. I had other guys on my radar, but I'm not a guy that runs for a challenge. I runs towards the challenge. When they offered the naming, I didn't even flinch. I just accept the naming. I'm ready to. Who wants to be the champion? You cannot choose opponents. And I'm one of those guys. I won't choose my opponents. I'm just gonna go walk through all of them and make my line to the top.
And last one for me. I mean, this being your second fight in the pandemic, do you think that gives you a bit of an edge, just knowing what to expect and having experienced the arena with no crowd?
Yes, it'll be my third fight here in the Apex. I'm so far 2 submissions victories, both in the first round. So hopefully I keep the same thing going. And on the Contender Series, there's barely public there. And on the fights against Dan, I had no public at all. So yeah, I know I would expect. I think this gives me a little advantage. But during the fight, to close the cage, just me and Pineda there, and it will be a war, and I'll be victorious.
All right. Well, best of luck this Saturday.
And we will take our next questions from Pablo Santamaria with Notima, Ecuador.
Hi, Herbert. You have already fought under these circumstances. Which has been different in this camp compared to the previous one?
I fought before in the pandemic. It's different because there's no public. There's no the energy from people around you. They want you to go there and perform. They want you to feel the energy. That's the most different I feel. But with public, no public, my goal is the same. Go there and perform good and get a good victory, and that's what I'm aiming to do on August 15 against Daniel Pineda.
Okay, your opponent is arguably more experienced than you. What do you think his strategy will be? Do you think he's going to try to keep on the feet, or he might go to the ground with you?
I think he believes in his own skills. I think he will try to take the fight where he thinks he will win. I believe in my eyes, he will keep the fight on the feet. But I won't be surprised if he tries to take me down and try to grapple with me. But if he does that, he'll be welcome. It will be my world.
Fair play. Good luck on Saturday, Herbert.
Thank you.
And we will take our next questions from Gavin Porter with UFC.com.
All right, so it's been about a year since you got your contenders, just over a year actually, since you got your contender series contract. Is this where you thought you'd be in just a year since that day?
That was my plan, but the plan, but you never know if the plan's gonna go through or not. But it went through. It was 2 great victories, both first round finishes, 1 knockout, 1 submission, to show my skills and show my potential. And now I'm on the pay-per-view card again, this time on the main card, in the mainstream. So I'm hopefully looking forward there to go there, perform again, and hopefully get 1 more victory.
This will be your 3rd fight this year, and when you look at that, is this the type of activity you think the pandemic has allowed you to be able to create more value for your identity, for your fighter, by being so active?
I think so. I think the pandemic, it's always an opportunity, man. In times of crisis, it's an opportunity. Some people make through and make good of the opportunity. Some people just pass and wait for the perfect opportunity. I can't wait. I'm 32 years old. I'm very experienced. I did well in other promotions and got my chance to get in the UFC. It was super hard to be here. It wasn't easy for me, but I make it here and I showing my potential. And I don't want to waste any time. I want to go there, fight, stay active, show my availability to the company that they can count on me, and short notice fights, my second short notice in a row, and I want to go there this Saturday and put a hell of a performance again.
If you get a 3rd finish in a row, 3 in a row in the UFC, do you feel like you're setting yourself up to be right where you want to be going into 2021?
Yes, definitely. I think if this victory over Pineda, super tough opponents, I should be inside of the featherweight rankings.
Perfect. That's it for me, Christoph.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Herbert. Those are all the questions we had for you.
All right. Thank you.
And next up, we will be joined by UFC featherweight Daniel Pineda. We now welcome UFC featherweight Daniel Pineda. Daniel, thank you for the time today, sir.
How's it going, brother?
It's going great, thank you. We will take the first question from Nolan King with MMA Junkie.
Cool.
Appreciate the time, man. Welcome back. It's been a little while since we saw you in the UFC. It's been 6 years, actually, since your last UFC fight. So talk to me about how it feels to be back and going through fight week again.
It feels good. You know, it's not a big camp, but it feels good to be back, man. Happy to be here.
Was there ever any doubt as you were going through other organizations and working your way back here that you would be here again?
No, I knew I was going to come back and give it another run. I've been telling my coaches and everybody, I'm going to give it one more run. And this is the run I'm giving. I'm doing it right now.
The last time we saw you compete in the cage, you were in a tournament, and it was a one-night tournament, and those results were overturned. So we never really heard from your perspective. Can you kind of give your side of that and maybe how frustrating that was to deal with from your perspective?
It sucked. You know, you work so hard, and then for that to happen, I mean, it just sucked, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And also, you talk about how you're back and you're going to give it one more run. So what do you plan to accomplish now that you're here? What is the second run for Daniel Pineda in the UFC look like?
Get to the top and make as much money as I can. That's exactly what my second run is. Make as much money as I can, and so I can support my baby and my girl at home.
For sure, man. Well, I appreciate the time and good luck, Daniel.
Thank you, brother.
We will take our next questions from Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press.
Hey, thanks very much. And Daniel, I'm not sure if you saw this, but Burns called you more dangerous than Alexander Volkanovski, more dangerous than the champ. What's your reaction when you hear an opponent say something like that?
You know, he has respect. Same respect I got for him. You know, he's good. He's a world-class jiu-jitsu guy, and you know, we have respect for each other. I mean, we know it's gonna be a fight. We know it's gonna be a war, and that's why we're in the main card now. You know, everybody's expecting a war, and there is gonna be a war.
You haven't had a lot of time to prepare this, to prepare for this fight. What was your approach? What was camp like going into this?
Don't get hurt. Don't overwork myself because it's only a week. You know, 2 weeks. 1 week at home and 1 week here. So, just try to cut my weight and try to get a lot running in. Try to get in shape.
And he's obviously known for his ground game. You've got a boatload of submissions as well, something he pointed out, I think 17 or 18 in your pro career. Is this a case where you want to test yourself against him, or is the plan to kind of force him into a stand-up battle?
Y'all know how I fight, man. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to try to finish him, or he's going to finish me. It's one of them two. I don't like decisions. I've never gone to a decision. All of them are finishes. So one of us is going to get finished. If it's him or if it's me, but it's going to be a good fight.
All right, well, looking forward to it. Best of luck this Saturday.
Thank you, brother.
We will take our next questions from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Hey, Daniel, welcome back to the UFC. Can you kind of give me an idea of what this last 10 months has been like for you? I mean, to make a kind of a short notice debut, go into PFL, win 2 fights, you're in the finals, you're about to fight for $1 million. We know what happened with the Nevada Commission. Then you get a suspension, your time off. Then you're back in the UFC again. Here you are fighting, in the middle of a pandemic on a massive card like UFC 252. Like, what's the emotion been like for you for these past 8 to 10 months?
Man, honestly, I haven't even been thinking about none of that. I just had my baby girl. She's 2 months. My wife's been pregnant for 9 months. So, I mean, I've just been taking care of my baby, trying to work out. And I know I was going to get back in here. I knew I was going to get back in here. And I'm in here now. And now it's just time to prove myself, to myself and to all the fans out there and everybody else. And whoever's doubting me out there, all they do is doubt. I just wait. Come Saturday night.
And not to obviously take a dig at PFL by any stretch of the imagination, but I think everyone knows they ended up not fighting at all this year. And there's been some frustration from some of the fighters, with the UFC being back, Bellator coming back, things like that. In the end run, were you happy that, you were able to get out of PFL and come to UFC? Now you're fighting, because I know you're an active guy. You like to, we know you as a guy who fights quite often.
Yeah, I don't say no to fights. You call me in 3 days, I'm gonna fight. Do a catch weight and I'll fight. But man, just know I got a good manager. And I got out of the contract and I'm here now. So that's what counts. And I got an awesome manager. Jason House, he's the man.
And when you were in the UFC before, you've always been known as a guy who puts on exciting fights and always goes out there to put on a show, win, lose, or draw. And we've seen it, especially during this pandemic, the UFC really seems to appreciate, the guys and the girls who've gone out there and done that. Do you feel like, in a way, this is the perfect time for you to come back to the UFC with your style and your attitude in a time where we are in kind of a weird time for fighting?
Yeah, I think it's the perfect time. And it's a perfect time for me to get some bonuses too. Now that I'm in the main card and I can actually see and get my bonuses. It's a perfect time. Everything's falling into place at a perfect time.
And last question for me, as you said, you're not a guy who turns down fights or turns down opportunities, but getting a guy like Herbert Burns in your first fight back, this is a big fight. Herbert's been on a great run. One of the top prospects in the division. Of course, his brother is, number one ranked welterweight in the world. Could you have asked for a better scenario? Now, main card, as you mentioned, it seems like everything's kind of fallen into place.
Exactly. No. I love this fight. I love all the hype he got behind him. I love all the hype they have. Their jiu-jitsu, and I can test myself out, see where I'm at with that jiu-jitsu. See if he can submit me. Maybe I submit him. I'm going there and submit him. For sure, we're gonna get finished. One of us. There's no decision. So no, it's good, and I'm happy I got this fight. I'm happy. The last time they asked me to fight him, I said yes. It didn't happen. He ended up fighting somebody else. And that was like in a 4-day notice. And then I knew he was gonna come back, and here we are. I'm excited to fight Herbert. He's good. I've watched him, and he's good.
Awesome. Thanks, Daniel.
Yep.
And we will take our next questions from Pablo Santamaria with Notima, Ecuador.
Hey Daniel, how are you?
How's it going, brother?
What will be your strategy for the fight? Are you going to keep the fight on your feet, or do you have no problem going to the ground and show that you're a complete fighter?
I'm gonna do whatever opportunity happens. I'm gonna go in there. Every fight starts standing, so I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna stand up, and if he lets me take him down, I'm gonna take him down and ground and pound him. I'm not scared of his ground. I'm not scared of his stand up. So wherever it goes, I'm happy to be there.
Okay, you're a more experienced fighter than him. So do you think that your experience will play an important role in achieving the victory?
Yes. Very. I've have what, like 2, 3. Yeah, I have what, 26, 27 fights. Oh, whatever, 30 something fights. So yeah, I have a lot more experience. I think I got more fights than all the guys that are fighting in the same night on that card. So, yeah.
That's cool. So good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Those are all the questions we had for you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for your patience. We will be joined momentarily by UFC heavyweight Jairzinho Rozenstruik. We now welcome the number 6 ranked UFC heavyweight contender in the world, Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Jair, thank you for the time today, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. We will take the first question from Gustavo Falden with ESPN Brazil.
Hi, Jairzinho. How's it going?
Good, sir. How you doing?
As you know, he said I'm from Brazil, and you're named after a Brazilian legend. What do you know about Jairzinho, the soccer football player?
Now these days, I know a lot about him. I think 2017, I went to Brazil in Sao Paulo by the museum to know more about him, and yeah, it's awesome. Feels great. I named after him, and yeah.
And what can we expect from your fight against Dos Santos?
My performance will be phenomenal. I have to set something straight with myself. I feel good. I have a great camp, and I'm gonna go in there and try to get my hands raised again.
You have a hard hand. If you barely like get out from the first round, either by knocking out, and your only defeat came in the first round. Can we expect the same against Dos Santos, who is already a heavy hitter himself?
100%.
And what can you say about him? You know, where would you think you would be if you beat Dos Santos, a former champion?
Dos Santos, he does a lot for the sport. Yeah, still a dangerous guy. Beat him, I will be right there. Especially the championship fights happening the same day, and I think Francis is the next guy who's fighting for the title, and we're gonna go from there as soon as he got a chance. And yeah.
And my last one, since you are named after a Brazilian legend, you're fighting against a Brazilian. What can you say to the Brazilian fans to cheer for you as well?
I mean, I train together with a lot of Brazilians, the American top team, even feel Brazilian. In my country, I'm surrounded by a lot of Brazilians, so can see it as a local fight, make the best man win. I want to win, so I go for that. And the only thing they can do is cheer for us. And yeah, tamo junto.
Thanks, man.
And we will take our next questions from Augusto Niesgue with Somos MMA. Augusto, please. Oh. Augusto, please go ahead. Your line is unmuted. Okay, we will move on. Our next question will come from Gabriel Gonzalez with Cape Side Press.
Hey, Jairzinho. So obviously last year you were on the right side of a lot of great performances. Look, you've had a lot of fights, so when you have a loss like the one you had earlier this year, did it make it easier just as like, hey, you've been the hammer a while, you can bounce back after being the nail?
No, of course not. Every loss means something is not good, something is not right. And yeah, as soon as I got that, I get back to the gym, and here I am again, trying to get my hands raised.
I mean, that was a quick fight. You guys are both known for throwing so much power. What did you go back and analyze from that fight?
I mean, you can analyze a lot of things. If you got caught, you got caught. Everybody can knock somebody out. I mean, yeah, you have power. Only thing you have to do is hit accurate and or touch your opponent. So the fight was a short fight. Can't say a lot about it. But here I am now, and looking forward for a win.
I don't think enough people outside the MMA bubble realize this, but you are a very big deal back home in Suriname. Can you just talk about what a typical day is like for you when everyone recognizes you at home?
No, I mean, it's awesome. I'm honored to represent my country to the world. I mean, millions of eyeballs, and go back home. I'm the first fighter of Suriname fighting in the UFC, and everybody know UFC is the biggest platform about fighting in the world, and yeah, that make a lot of sense. So being back home, everybody look up to me and wish me luck and wish that I win all the fights, you know. So it feels great, feels awesome, and I'm honored.
You're fighting one of the legends of the heavyweight division in recent years in Junior Dos Santos. When you have a guy who's had so many of those big fights in his career, which ones do you remember and do you look at in terms of preparing and just understanding who you're really ready for when you go out there on Saturday?
I mean, it's a fight. As soon as you face someone, I'm not looking at the past. You know, Junior did a lot of things for the sport. I respect him for that, and I respect him as opponent too. But I'm looking forward to what I want to do, where I want to be. He's the man standing in the way. He's the man to take out.
My final question, who do you have winning in the main event between Stipe and DC?
I mean, I don't care. I mean, I like DC, and I hope it's a great match.
Thank you.
We will take our next question from Mark Schaaf with Talpa Network.
Hi Jairzinho, Mark hier namens Veronica Fight. Bedankt voor je tijd. Je staat voor je 12e gevecht binnen UFC. Hoe voel je?
Ik voel me goed. Ja, ik ben er klaar voor. Mijn laatste wedstrijd is niet gegaan zoals we hadden gehoopt. Dus het enige wat we hebben gedaan is terug naar de gym gaan en aanscherpen, niet te veel achteruit kijken en proberen gewoon weer een winst aan onze zijde te krijgen.
Ja, heb je je mentaal lang moeten herstellen van je eerste verlies?
Eigenlijk helemaal niet. Van het moment dat ik uit de octagon stapte, was mijn mindset meteen als ik de persoon die ik wil zijn na deze, dus na dit alles. Ja, moet gek zijn. Ik wil gewoon gaan winnen en ja, ik wil aan niks anders denken. Zo heb ik me ook voorbereid.
Ja, en fysiek, ja, een normaal mens blijft liggen, zeg maar. Jij bent het soort van gewend, maar heb je je fysiek lang moeten herstellen van je verlies?
Nee, ik probeer niet in het verleden te blijven kijken. De realiteit is, het is gebeurd. Je gaat treuren, heb ik gedaan. Maar ik wil niet daar aan blijven zitten. Dus ja, ik ben gewoon vooruit gaan denken. En het eerste gevecht die ik kreeg was deze. En het is een grote kans, dus ik zeg er geen nee tegen.
Ja, hoe is het voor jou om tegen JDS te vechten? Ja, bijna een legende.
Ja, JDS, hij blijft gevaarlijk. Heel interessant, hij is een allrounder fighter. Ja, ik ga gewoon sowieso van mijn beste kunnen. Ik heb me goed voorbereid, ik voel me goed. En ja, ik ben ready. En ik probeer gewoon weer winst aan mijn zijde te hebben.
Ja, jullie zitten in hetzelfde team. Hoe goed ken je hem?
Ik ken hem niet zo goed. Ik denk dat hij een van de eerste personen was bij de gym toen ik daar aankwam. Om het te verwelkomen. Ik ben blij dat je bij ons team bent gekomen. Ik heb nooit met hem getraind. Ik zie hem bijna elke dag. Meestal als ik klaar met trainen. Als ik eruit ga, komt hij net erin. En ja, dat is alles wat ik van hem, dus wat persoonlijk betreft, ik ken hem niet anders. We hebben niet samen getraind, niet echt worden uitgewisseld.
Hij heeft je wel voorgesteld om te gaan sparren, toch? Voor deze wedstrijd. Maar dat heb je afgewezen. Waarom?
Ja, klopt. Ik voel me oncomfortabel daarmee. Ik denk het is een wedstrijd. Het is geen vriendjespolitiek of weet je. Het is gewoon meteen serieuze pot en ik kijk er serieus naar.
Ja, waarom denk je dat hij dat voorstelde aan jou? Is het misschien iets wat hij graag wilde?
Ik denk van wel, maar ik zou niet weten waarom hij dat zo graag van me zou willen. Nou, ik weet het niet. Ik denk dat er misschien iets anders erachter zit. Misschien niet negatief. Ik denk dat zoiets zou verkopen bij de UFC, ook buiten de UFC. Twee vechters die zeg maar moeten vechten, die sparen gewoon elke week 1 keer. Ja, het is een grote hype, iets nieuws. Misschien zoiets.
Ja, we gaan natuurlijk s'nachts allemaal naar je kijken. Wat voor gevecht wordt dit?
Dit gevecht wordt, ik denk, ik ben scherp. Ik ga meteen van mijn beste kant uit. Ik ga niet wachten. Ja. We gaan gewoon meteen vooruit.
Ja, hoe kijk je naar het main event van de avond? 2 zwaargewichten ook.
Ja, de kampioenswedstrijd. Ik ben blij dat dat eindelijk plaatsvindt. Wat geweldig. Maakt eigenlijk voor mij niet uit wie gaat winnen. Het gaat meer erom dat het plaatsvindt en dat wij dan gewoon zeg maar, naar de toekomst kunnen kijken. En ja, DC, ik vind zijn wrestling leuk. Ik vind hem een geweldig persoon. Ook hoe hij zichzelf representeert. Met het vechten, buiten het vechten. Ja, dat vind ik van de hoofdwedstrijd.
Ja, waar sta jij nu in de rij? Want waarschijnlijk gaat Francis tegen de winnaar vechten als DC doorgaat. Waar sta jij?
Hopelijk sta ik heel dichtbij. En ik denk dat er nog een paar jongens zijn die nog even een potje willen draaien. En ik hoop als die wedstrijd plaatsvindt, dat ik dan ook op die kaart sta.
Ja. Laatste vraag. Je vecht tegen een Braziliaan. Je heet Jairzinho. Dat is een Braziliaanse naam, toch?
Ja, klopt.
Ben je vernoemd naar een Braziliaan?
Ja, klopt. Ik ben vernoemd naar de legendarische speler Jairzinho. En mijn ouders die volgden vroeger heel veel voetbal. En Brazil was destijds de grootste kampioen, grootste land in het voetbalgebeuren. En ik werd vernoemd naar de legendarische speler Jairzinho.
Geweldig. Hey Jairzinho, ik wens je namens eigenlijk alle Nederlandse fans heel veel succes. We gaan voor je juichen, hoop ik. En we staan in ieder geval achter je en heel veel succes straks.
Dankjewel. Tot de volgende keer.
Thanks.
And we will take our next questions from Adrian Gallardo with Vavel, Argentina.
Hello, Jairzinho. How do you prepare? Pardon, sorry. How did you prepare for this fight?
I have a good preparation. I feel good about it. So yeah.
What are you thinking about Junior Dos Santos, your rival? It's a former champion. What do you think about him?
I think Junior Dos Santos, he's been a great champion. Still a dangerous guy. For me, I'm looking for a win. I need it. I have something to set straight with myself. And yeah, I'm just gonna go in there and do what I do best.
Okay, and what are you thinking about fight in the smaller cage?
Fighting in a smaller cage. I don't have too much to think about. It's gonna be my first time, and yeah, it's gonna be my first time in a smaller cage. So we're gonna see after this.
Okay, and the last question: are you motivated for this fight after the loss with Ngannou?
Of course, I'm motivated. That's why I'm here, sir.
Okay, thank you, Jairzinho, and good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
And we will take our next questions from Jose Ignacio Cruz.
Hi, Jairzinho. Nice talking to you. It's a pleasure. I was wondering about the experiences against former champions like Andrei Arlovski, fight with, excuse me.
Sorry, Jose, your microphone cut out a little bit. Can you repeat that, please?
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. I'm so sorry. I was just wondering about the experiences against former champions such as Andrei Arlovski and Alistair Overeem. How do you feel about that experience, and what do you carry from those experiences? What are the lessons that you get from that?
I mean, it feels great for every victory. My experience was most with the fight of Leicester. I've been there in the octagon for 5 rounds, almost 25 minutes, and that's my longest time I've been in the octagon. Yeah, it's a lot of experience. Can't name all of it, but it feels good, and it feels better that you're still in the fight.
I see. About your preparation, how does all this COVID situation affected your training camp? Can you elaborate on that?
No, at first it was difficult because I was traveling from my home country back to the States, and then we got stuck in the Netherlands, me and my coach, and we called the UFC, and they fixed us a waiver. And first I have to come, and because my coach couldn't come because he didn't have a work permit yet, and then my management, virtual management, and the UFC put work into it, and they got it fixed. He just got here the last 2 weeks of the fight, and now, yeah, everything is perfect. I feel good, and yeah.
Final question, sir. How do you feel about your matchup against Junior Dos Santos? Do you think it's going to be a rock'em sock'em kind of fight, or you're going to take a more wary approach? What's your feeling about that?
My feeling about this, I mean, it's a fight. Junior's still a dangerous guy. I train good. I have a good camp. I feel good. I feel great. I'm looking for a victory. I'm just gonna go in there and show my best side, get my hands raised again.
That's great to hear, sir. Best of luck on your fight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Nice day.
Thank you so much, Jair. That's actually all the time we had for you, sir.
All right. Have a nice day.
Next up, we will be joined by UFC bantamweight Merab Dvalishvili. We now welcome the number 13 ranked UFC bantamweight contender Merab Dvalishvili. Merab, thank you for the time today, sir.
Thank you.
We will take the first question from Gabriel Gonzalez with Capeside Press.
Okay.
Hey, Merab, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Perfect. Perfect. I wanted to ask you because after your last fight, we saw you with the black papaja. We're obviously used to seeing Khabib and his white one, and I wanted to know, is there significance behind yours being a different color?
Yeah, so I'm from Georgia. Georgia and Dagestan and Chechnya. We are similar people. Like we only between us it's a big mount. So only mount is like it's totally different country, but we are like similar. Like we used to be same people, but the only difference between us, they are Muslim, we are Christian. So now Russia occupied those countries, Chechnya, Dagestan, and now they are part of the Russia. Georgia, we have our own flag, own language, own writing, everything. So, but we are similar, and we have a old dress same. We have a all same papaka. We have a white papaka, black papaka. They have same. Like we all have a same like traditional dress. Clothes.
Got it. I understand. So the different color is a choice. All right, I get it. Can I ask?
It's
go ahead.
It's same. We also have a white one and we have a black one. They have same thing, and also Caucasus. It's couple country in the Caucasus.